Assalamualaikum dan salam sejahtera. My name is Siti Shuaidah. My matrix number is 14 DPM 19F 2062. Today we are going to discuss about employee responses to dissatisfaction. The first one is exit. Exit means behavior directed towards leaving the organization. It includes transferring to another work department or unit, or trying to get away from the dissatisfying situation. It is important to understand that specific shock events quickly energize employees to think about leaving the organization and engaging themselves in exit behavior. To relate the term exit with the COVID-19 pandemic, we can take about a company that remained operating at the time of this pandemic even though the government had banned for any company to operate. In this situation, workers do not agree to work because they scared if the government will take action and worry if they will be exposed to the virus and become a cluster. This led to dissatisfied toward the employer who did not care about the health of his employees and only cared about his business. The employee decided to quit and leave the company. Despite the fact that he knew it was very difficult to find a job in this situation, he is willing to do it rather than need to work with someone that has no mercy.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Syafiqah binti Muhammad Taib and nama matric card is 40 DPM 90 F2056. I will explain a little about what is show, which is the voice of employer response to dissatisfaction. The voice. Here, employees work to improve their situation, including suggesting improvements, discussing problems with superiors. Employees take active and constructive ways to positively improve their working condition, such as engaging in some form of union's activity. For example, recommending ways to improve conflict situation or even filling out formal grievances or forming coalition to oppose discussing. The effect of COVID-19 pandemic on worker and work employees. Example, at the time of COVID-19, the story of the man who allegedly lied to his wife that he was not working when in fact he had been fired for 3 months during the implementation period of Control Commando Movement PKP. The man's story is contagious because after he spoke and took story on a local radio station, the man was fired without notice following the COVID-19 outbreak. He is now doing regular work to cover daily expenses. Employees and employer need to practice openness and discuss behinds with their economic situation, as it can help both parties prepare for any eventuality, and employees will not be pressured to find new job in times of pandemic. This can also lead to employer dissatisfaction if the employer does not inform in advance and the employer assume that the employer can dismiss the employer at the will of the employer. Thank you from me. Next, I will pass to Nick Najihah.
The loyalty can be related. The example which is how the employee and the company follow the SOP, which is the standard operating procedure. Standard operating procedure is a set of written instructions that can describe how to perform a task or activity. There are in-depth rules that could be followed by anyone and should leave very little ambiguity around what needs to be done. As SOP is efficient, to the point, and can be used to organize nearly any work task you can think of. People use them to help their business with operations, business development, finance, legal affairs, and more. 7. Benefit of writing standard operating procedure, which is promote positive change, produce reliable results, improve employee training and management, increase safety, improve efficiency, and finds whole. What is the effect if the company or employee did not follow the SOP? The effect is a maximum summon of 50,000 for company plus 6 months in jail. The Ministry of Human Resources also lists down a number of SOP violations, such as number of staff physically present at business premise, lack of body temperature sensors, lack of social distancing, lack of face mask enforcement, forcing COVID-19 positive patient to work on shift, lack of My Sejahtera QR code. So next I will pass the meaning of neglect to Siti Shuhaida.
The last one is neglect. Neglect means allowing condition to worsen. It also means lacking in diligence. It includes reducing work effort, paying less attention to service quality, increase in absenteeism and lateness. This type of behavior has negative consequences for the organization. To connect this with pandemic COVID-19 is, for example, there are some sectors or factories that allow it to operate by the government. So this factory A is a food factory and the employer forces his employees to work hard and work overtime. This causes employee dissatisfaction because in the end, the wages they receive are not worth the effort they have put in. Especially in this time of pandemic, they desperately need more money. So they decide to show a negative attitude by not really doing the work, often coming late to work and so on. This in turn can have a negative effect such as a damaged company image, the company lacks employees, suffers losses and so on. So, to prevent this from happening, the employer should show an admirable attitude and understand the feeling of his employees.